I'm Dr. Jackline Lidubwi. In a gray suit, black top, black shoes. I'm thin. Is it thin or petite or what? So I'm thin. And I'm light-skinned. So before we start, I'll let my panelists introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hussein. I'm a disability and inclusion specialist from Ubongo, Tanzania. Today I'm colorblindless, guys. So, what is this, blue or dark blue?
Both.
Okay, fine, both. Safari suit and the black shoes and the glasses. So nice to meet with you. I hope we'll have a nice conversation concerning the disability media for the African people.
Good afternoon. My name is Muleka. I'm the founder and managing director, Science Media. Today I'm wearing a yellow tie on a navy blue shirt, light blue, is it light blue or sky blue or thereabout suit with wet shoes, wet black shoes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next.
Good day, everybody. I am Mr. Tab, Tebogo Aubrey Poopedi. I am wearing all white. I'll tell you why did I say that. To all my friends, fellow colleagues who can see me, who cannot see, who are visually impaired, I'm wearing all white. Do you believe me? Oh, am I wrong? Okay, I'll tell you why I said that during our conversation, right? So I am a black African. I'm actually wearing black shoes, black pants, black chinos, a blue blazer, and a white t-shirt. I'll definitely break it down a bit later on, but I am the founder and station manager of a wonderful radio station, which is a solution to today's discussion, which is Skills Village Radio. We are an online radio station based in Dobsonville in Soweto, South Africa. Quite honored to be here today, and there's a lot of solutions that we concluded today. So I'm a visually impaired individual, like I said, and I'm a motivational speaker, I'm an author, a radio presenter, and I think we can wrap it there for now. Thank you so much. Looking forward to today's discussions. Peace.
Wow. I have an excellent panel. So I didn't talk about myself. I'm Dr. Jackline Lidubwi. I'm the founding producer of Able Differently show on KBC Channel 1. I don't know who's watched Able Differently. Yeah, so it is the first disability-specific program in Kenya and maybe in East Africa. So after that, I transitioned to training journalists. So currently, I train journalists in Sub-Saharan Africa on how to report on disability matters. I'm a researcher, and I've done so much on media and disability. So I'll start right away with Tebogo. We have it is estimated we have 10 billion people with disability in the world, but we rarely see persons with disabilities in the media. Why? Tebogo, can you pick that one?
Can you please repeat the question for me, please?
We have 10 billion, it is estimated we have 10 billion persons with disability in the world, but we rarely see persons with disability in the media. When we see them, there's a research done by Paul Hunt. We see them being portrayed as objects of pity. We see them being portrayed in models like medical model, traditional model, charity model. Why is it that?
It's a challenge, right? So I think, let me just start off. I think it links well with why I began my discussion with I'm wearing everything white. It's also a matter of how disability is perceived, right? So since we are in the media space, as persons with disabilities, we are told what we want to be told, right? We don't tell our own stories as a media space. So another thing, I said I'm ordering all white because that's how I was told. I'm like, we believe everything that we are fed as persons with disabilities. So I told our fellow visual impairments here that I'm wearing white, and they believed me that I'm wearing white. You know why? Because they can't see me that I'm not wearing all white. It's the very same information that we receive out there. They tell us, they feed us food that we don't want to hear. It's stories. We don't write our own stories in Africa. That's why we are here at Skills Village Radio. We tell our own stories. We are here to tell our own stories. I'll be very disappointed if I come here again next year and we'll be talking about the same discussion next year if we have never solved this solution right here. Right, so with coming back to the topic, I think I've break it very well, that it's high time that we tell our own stories as persons with disabilities. So right now, back in South Africa, Skills Village Radio, what we also do, if you can understand, we are a Skills Village Radio skill. So we skill our own people, and which is persons with disabilities, who will help us tell our own stories. It's about time that we tell our own stories. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on swiftly to Muleka, you founded the first disability-specific TV station in Kenya. Talk to us about assistive technologies, the current landscapes, and the future innovations in relation to Science TV.
Thank you very much, Jackie, and to my colleague who has just spoken before me. One of the things and that led me to come up with the disability-specific TV station is because I believe in the issue of telling your own story in the space of positive role modeling. Because it is, as we know, that there is a lot of innovations that is going on in the world, and we cannot talk about innovation when we are eliminating the issue of the digital space. So there are people, for example, I normally take it that there are some CEOs, you find that people who are supposed to make policy, make decisions that affect how people are living in the country, how products are being consumed, how the workspaces are being tuned, how the workforce is supposed to be, but they have never had one-on-one interaction with a person with disability. So if we are able, as a TV station, Science TV, to be able to have programs that are brought by persons with disability, and the positive role modeling that comes around having persons with disability on the screen, in which 80% of the programming is actually hosted by persons with disabilities themselves, then what we've realized is it has helped in a way to shape the conversations around if we are talking about the inclusion, especially I'm very passionate because I also hold the position of the Vice Chair of Kenya Business Disability Network. Then it has helped a lot to break the barriers of the workspace, workforce, and also products and services, and how persons with disability are also consuming these products. So innovation is going to be an endless game that is going to happen over and over again. And I know that through that innovations, as we are going to pick up some of these, what we call the positive, disability inclusive, and good innovations, we are going to see a lot of storytelling and a lot of erasing of biases that actually exist in the community around persons with disability. So first of all, I'm very excited that this is going really to do a lot of impactful mind shift and mind change. And that is why in my space, I normally say that, and what my colleague has just said, that we should not be at this space talking about the same thing next year. And my area is that we've built metal ramps for so long. It is now time to build the mental ramps that are going to change how people view and how people engage with persons with disabilities. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you so much, Luke. Now I move to you, Hussein. Talk about inclusive design in media, a case study of Ubongo TV.
Yeah, thank you so much. For us, we when we design content, usually we use the model of human-centered design. So first of all, we met with the users to find the good way how we can represent them, how we can distribute them, how we can make more accessible to them. And that make most of our content to be more useful to the people or to the audience. Usually we do a research, we met with them, we say stakeholders. So we met with the parents, caregivers, leaders, and the children themselves, because usually at Ubongo we say we are doing for the kids. All the things what we are doing is for the kids. So we did that, and we got a lot of information, and we are Pan-Africanism organization. So when we do the research, usually we go to different countries. So we go to, we come to Kenya, Nigeria, Tanzania, Uganda, and other countries in Africa where we operate, and then to collect ideas to come up with one solution. And then we try to design things in different approach. For example, we have TV. Most of the people, they know Ubongo through maybe animation of Akil and Me, Ubongo Kids, and Nuzo and Nami, but we have different products. We have apps, we have ebooks, but also we have hard books like Braille books. All of these try to create an inclusive design process so that to assure that all people, all users could access what we are doing. Because we believe sometimes if you design maybe apps, how do we assure people who are living in rural areas could attain the content? So we say let's design different things in order to accommodate all these community, all these audience where we save for. But also we did kind of evaluation to see does the product have impacted to them or not. And if there is feedback we got from the evaluation, and this is the requirement of human-centered design, if there is feedback we got from the evaluation, we come to make kind of improvement and changes based on the feedback we got from the research or based on the feedback we got from the evaluation. And this is the program continue, and sometimes you may see an app for this year will be different for the next year. Why? Because our audience provide feedback to us that they need 1, 2, 3, 4 to be changed so as to we can accommodate them. For example, including issues like sign language and other accessibility means to our content. Those are the kind of feedback we got from the users, and we try on our level base to incorporate it. But the only thing is using the ideas from the users, audience, the human-centered design.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll come back to that and we'll look at the effectiveness, but now I want to move to my panelist from South Africa. You've categorically stated that next year we should be talking about a different language. So tell us some of the strategies that you've done in South Africa, or how you've managed to empower journalists with disabilities or people with disabilities in South Africa so that they can have presence in the media.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. From South Africa, remember, we have a target of 7.5% of persons with disabilities, according to the Census South Africa 2011. The numbers might have slightly changed, increased. Maybe we're lingering about around 8, 9%, somewhere there. And what we very delighted of as South Africans is that we do have measures that have been implemented, like part of the Constitution, one of the greatest constitutions that we have actually in South Africa, that speaks for the rights and awareness of persons with disabilities. We have the white paper for persons with disabilities, one of the greatest. The only thing that we have been shying away about basically its implementation, right? And we love the fact that we took it upon ourselves as individuals on the floor, as individuals and as organizations, to put it upon us that we are definitely going to solve the challenges of South Africans within the media space, regardless, right? So I can just take one of the examples that we are having discussions about today, which is media and digital accessibility, right? As a media house, let me just start with me actually. so that we can make this discussion much, much lucrative. I was not born blind, right? I lost my sight at a tender age of 14 years. And the usage of technology transformed my life. But I was introduced to Braille when everything began. And like Dr. Pass on the previous session, we really need to do away with Braille, unfortunately. If we really need to be able to communicate between you and I, then we really need to use available resources which are exclusive. Right now, as a member now, as a founder of a radio station, the only thing that I'm utilizing, my life is based on technology as a blind man, you know. And I think, I don't know, don't tell anyone, when I wrote my love letter, I wrote it with electronics, and then I got the love letter back and they said yes. It was an email. So it was because of the usage of technology, right? So as a media house, the other thing that has advantaged us is that we are now able to communicate. If you look at one of our presenters, she has a show all the way, her health show, all the way from Lithuania, due to technology. So an accessible usage of technology actually has advanced every single thing in South Africa. Yes, there's still barriers, especially for those who cannot access resources like technology, like internet, because most of the resources basically do need Wi-Fi, but we're getting there, and it's maybe in the rurals where we are. I can just say we are struggling a bit as South Africans, but other than that, we are doing very well as South Africans. I think you can see how we share information as a radio station or as a media house on social media, TikTok, Facebook. Everywhere we are there, we are presenting, and it's everybody that we are existing, because we are creating a cohesive environment together as a media house, whereby we coexist with persons with disabilities and non-disabled people. Why? It's because we have realized that disability does not only affect you as a person with a disability, but your immediate family, your community. So together we can grow, and we need to implement every single legislature that's being implemented in South Africa. And that's why we managed to be where we are right now. And I think that's where I'll park it for now. And one more thing, Madam Speaker, I just want to clear out something. It's Skills Village Radio. You introduced me as the previous radio station, which is Westside FM. So yeah, let's fix it there quickly. It's Skills Village Radio, yeah? Yeah, and one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So moving to Luke. As a journalist, in fact, when I started Able Differently, I reported disability the way I wanted to report, because I thought, maybe I'm doing a favor to persons with disabilities. But being in the field for a very long time, I started interacting with so many beautiful people in the world of disability. They held my hand, they taught me about the terminologies, the languages, but I was just this one journalist. But there are several journalists in Africa who are struggling to report on disability, because when we go to colleges, universities, we are not taught about disability reporting. So as Science TV, what initiatives are you doing on capacity building and training and on journalists with disabilities?
Thank you very much. And this actually, when I talked about the issue of positive role modeling with the persons with disabilities themselves, I remember when I started the TV station, I didn't have, I think I struggled to get any journalist with disability to come and host a program on Science TV. One of the things we've done is we started, first of all, to get the ones that the people that we had working with, take them through a crash program supported by the Media Council of Kenya and ActionAid, in which we train them on the etiquettes of journalism. These are persons with disabilities themselves. Etiquettes of journalism. There was the issue of media law. There was the issue of how you do reporting and everything that pertains journalism. Once they went through this program and they were able to, say, graduate as what we call para-journalists, like just the way you'll have paralegal people, we saw that that's something that we should scale up to the next level. And this has led to an initiative whereby now the Media Council has identified Science TV as a sector-specific TV station whereby we intern students who are undertaking journalism studies across the universities and tertiary colleges in Kenya, whereby we intern them and now train them. I can tell you that now we have a rich through this partnership with the Media Council, and of course being funded where they are given stipend to be on the station for 3 months, then from there they can go out. We've realized that those that we've trained are also going out to try to be employed by other media houses, and we are seeing the fire. It started by a spark, and sometimes that spark is actually now becoming into a bushfire that is actually affecting how persons with disabilities are integrated in the space of journalism. What touched me at some point was that there was one of my early on employees who said that when she undertook journalism, the lecturer asked her that when you are on the wheelchair, you will not look so well as a presenter on TV, because TV was straight-jacketed to have this type of people or a certain type of people. And to her, that did not deter her from pursuing journalism. She ended up pursuing journalism, PR, and international studies. So you realize that, again, even the people who are actually training students, or the people who are actually tutors, are actually also not very well are placed to understand the role of persons with disabilities themselves being in those newsrooms and bringing these programs. Because if you are telling a story, and what I've seen is, if a person with disability is interviewing, let me say, a fellow person with disability, the conversation is not what I would say, stiff conversation because of being in the same world. But if you are a person without disability, and sometimes you are going out to interview or host a person with disability, then you find that even your conversation become stiff, because what I've seen is, in some cases, I have had a situation of sharing a drink with the persons with disabilities, and you see, just to have fun in a club and all that stuff. You find that our conversation is actually broken down, but other people will see, they will start thinking, how will I go out? Probably, someone asked me, if your staff is hosting news at 7 o'clock, the guy was blind, he's hosting at 7 o'clock at night, how does he go home? And my question was, how did he come? Because still he was in darkness when he came, he will still be in darkness when he is going. So it's about giving the opportunity as opposed to looking at the person with disability himself, Because to me that was an eye-opener that these persons with disability, should be involved in the media studies, whereby it now opens up for children to be taken to school, even to undertake other courses and other professions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll just stay on the same topic about skilling, capacity building, and training initiatives. What have you done, Hussein?
Yeah, so basically, current what we are doing is to capacity, for example, teachers and caregivers, how they can use, first of all, the content to what we produce, but also how they can be more inclusive at home. So, for example, in our shows like Ubongo Kids or Nuzo and Namia, we have a specific segment concerning we call caregiver segment. In that area, usually we share different ideas and knowledge about disability issues or inclusive to the community, how they can live, how you can support in terms of education system, how you can support at home, because we found the research show that when we met with the parents, they said that there is a lot of stigmatization in communities for children with disability from the parents or from their fellow peers' children. So what we decided to say, we'll use animation for children, but also we'll use the live footage specifically for caregivers, and specifically will be the filming and sharing the knowledge so that they can know how to change their mindset concerning the issues of disability and inclusion. But also another thing which we are doing is kind of adaptation our content into different language, particularly African language. So we believe that people could be aware or understood very well if you use the first or mother tongue language. So that's the essence what we adapt our content into familiar language, in Luo, in Hausa, in Igbo, and the other languages in Africa, including French, Swahili, and English. So this opportunity provides us a good way to make accessible of what we are doing to all community what we serve. So this improved a lot, and we got a lot of feedback which are positive, and they increase the awareness pertaining inclusive in our community.
Okay, and now that we are talking about media most nowadays is two-way communication. So I would want questions or feedback from the audience, and then I'll go back to my panelists. You don't just want to talk. Nowadays, media is two-way. You send me a message, you send a request, I play your music. You ask for this video, I give you the video. So any question before we continue? Anyone who has any question? Yeah, okay. Microphone here.
Thank you very much. My name is Bahati Omar. I'm from Rwanda. I aspire to be like you guys. Just initiated uwezoradio.com as an online radio that promotes the rights of persons with disability in Rwanda. It's part of the media inclusion that we started to try to change the media narrative on persons with disabilities. So it's 100% run by young people with disabilities. So I want to learn more from you guys. But my question is, you're talking about more around mainstream media. There's still a lot to do with the culture, but today there's a very big influence on the social media and how people want to see, want to drive it. We are in this conference where we're talking about technology, and there's still a lot of production and content that in a bid to get more views, still disability is portrayed negatively. So how can you collectively be ready to change that when social media is open for everyone? Thank you.
Okay, anyone who wants to take that, I can answer you. Yesterday I had a session on digital self-advocacy of people with disabilities in Africa, and I said that the perceptions and the stereotypes that have been in the mainstream media, they are slowly going to the social media. So if we don't change from the mainstream media from our society, that is the same perceptions we are taking to the social media. You see social media people saying you are psycho, you are crazy, you are lame. You know, those are negative perceptions or stereotypes that devalue persons with disabilities. But people will laugh at them. You will see a meme of a person with disability and people are laughing at it. That is not using social media on the positive. It is using social media on the negative. And we are not promoting persons with disabilities while doing that. That's why I'm saying, with mainstream media, it is owned by someone, so you don't have a chance to own it. But social media and digital media, you have a chance to own the media. You have a chance to put the information on the message that is there so that you can also tell your own story without even being limited by anyone, by the mainstream media or by the society. Now you take charge of that, and that's why it is important for people with disabilities to know how to use social media positively. So anyone who wants to add on that?
Well, thank you so much. I highly agree with the statement that you just made, Mamane. But actually, we just need to continue. I think the best way that we can continue so that we can do away with the negative presentation of persons with disabilities, how we are perceived, is for us to continue. I'll repeat this again. It's for us to tell our story the way we want to tell our story. The more we tell it, and the more we do it, and how often we'll do it, right? That's how it will, the negative perception of who we are as persons of persons with disabilities will slowly die off. We should just continue doing it day in and day out. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, come next year, we won't be talking about this again, I tell you, you know. So, yeah, thank you so much for the platform, guys. I highly appreciate it. We are available at Skills Village Radio, www.skillsvillageradio.co.za. On social media platforms, it's Skills Village Radio. Pay us a visit. You can see how we represent ourselves as persons with disabilities. And yeah, thank you so much to every member of Skills Village Radio and every member who for the invitation here at this exclusive event. I highly appreciate it. Thank you so much. From Mr. Tab, God bless you. Peace.
Muleka.
Thank you. What I would say is memes will be created. And memes have been created, but we should use those memes to build the mental ramps. Let us be in those space as persons with disabilities, because it's through that presence that will make either, what I believe in, it takes time, but it will happen. So social media is another space that we need to, I have seen a lot of short stature being used with a lot of memes on short stature people, but we are not saying that it will not happen. It will continue to happen. Let's use those stones that are being thrown at us to build those mental ramps that are going to change the perception of persons with disabilities again on the new age technology, which is the social media. Thank you.
We have final remarks, Hussein.
The thing which usually I encourage for both people with disability but also the community is acceptance. That's the thing which I really like to encourage community to accept each and everything and knowing how to overcome those challenges which we face in our community.
Thank you so much, my panelists. Thank you so much, a wonderful audience, for listening to us, and hope we can interact more. Asanteni sana.